Hey everybody, welcome back to sweptmedia here at the convergence of AI and Web3. Happy to be here after our successful podcast with Connie Kwong took place a couple days ago. In case you haven't noticed, I started putting out shorts and some clips related to or pulled from that podcast recording. So take a look at it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow me on X if you have not already. And another reminder, I'll be in Bangkok in the first week of April for Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. So if you'll be around there, I'd love to catch up with you. I'd love to grab some coffee. We can talk about AI and Web3. We can talk about coffee. We can talk about anything you really want. And we'll be able to share some ideas along the way. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Today's video is going to be about this new report from McKinsey. McKinsey is this big marketing consultancy, corporate enterprise sort of thing, that focuses on the state of AI. That's the name of the title. That's the title of the report. And specifically about how organizations in various industries, various fields are using AI to enhance their operations or how they're not using it. And I think some of the results will be interesting here. What I'll do with this one is a little bit different. I actually have had Gemini take a look at this report and run a summary of it. So what I'll do is I'll try to scroll along with the report while I actually read off what Gemini has summarized for us. And then when I'm done reading the summary, we can take a look at some more of the charts here. So again, this is the state of AI from McKinsey and Quantum Black AI. That's McKinsey's firm. And this is what Gemini had to say about it. This McKinsey report from March 2025 highlights a significant surge in AI adoption, especially generative AI within global organizations. Companies are transitioning from initial experimentation to strategic implementation, focusing on value capture through workflow redesign, robust governance, and risk mitigation. Large corporations, particularly those with over $500 million in annual revenue, are leading the charge in adapting their organizational structures to maximize AI potential. The report emphasizes the critical role of leadership, particularly CEO involvement in AI governance, in driving bottom-line impact. While the effects on overall EBIT are still emerging, organizations that adopt a comprehensive approach encompassing strategic planning, skill development, and proactive risk management are poised to gain a competitive edge. Key organizational shifts include a move towards selective centralization of AI deployment with risk and compliance often fully centralized, while tech talent and solution adoption follow hybrid models. Companies are also prioritizing risk mitigation, particularly concerning inaccuracy, cybersecurity, and intellectual property. The report identifies 12 adoption and scaling best practices that correlate with improved EBIT. Through widespread implementation, though widespread implementation remains limited. Furthermore, the workforce is evolving, with new AI-related roles emerging and significant reskilling efforts underway. While some headcount reductions are anticipated in specific areas, a majority predict minimal overall workforce size changes in the near term. And from there, I had Gemini give me a bullet-pointed summary. I'll probably put this up in the written article so that you all can see it, in addition to maybe some of the charts from this report. So first, in regard to AI adoption, the report found that 78% of organizations use AI in at least one business function, while 71% of respondents report regular use of generative AI. This brings up one thing I wanted to mention, which is the sample size of the respondents. So each one of these has a different sample size. Each one of these charts, it's a different question, and a different number of people or a different target were given the question in the survey that they were provided. So for example, this one the results from this one came from about 1,500 participants. That's not big. It doesn't invalidate the results. But it is a relatively small sample size if you look at individuals. However, if you factor in that this was a targeted survey about individuals in particular roles at particular types of companies, I think it does make it a rather valid survey. And that that goes with every single one of the results that's in here. The sample sizes on an individual level are relatively small, but within the context of what the report is actually about, I think it makes the survey and the results valid. So moving on here, focus on value capture. Organizations are redesigning workflows and implementing governance structures. Emphasis on mitigating risks, including inaccuracy, cybersecurity, and IP infringement. Their organizational changes. Selective centralization of AI deployment and senior leadership, especially CEO oversight, is crucial for success. Importance of leadership. CEO oversight of AI governance is strongly correlated with higher self-reported bottom line impact from Gen AI use, generative AI. Risk mitigation. Organizations are increasingly working to mitigate generative AI related risks. Adoption and scaling best practices. 12 key practices identified, including dedicated teams, training, and KPI tracking. KPI tracking has the most impact on the bottom line. That is true. Using AI to track your KPIs is very, very helpful. It makes it easier for you to both track your KPIs and meet your KPIs. Evolving skills in workforce. New AI-related roles emerging, including compliance and ethics specialists. Significant reskilling efforts are underway. It's happening in a lot of firms, even ones that I'm at. Headcount reductions are expected in some areas, but most anticipate minimal overall change. And then finally, value creation and use cases. Revenue increases and cost reductions reported in business units using generative AI. Key use cases include marketing, product development, service operations, and IT. And finally, AI advantages include potential for bottom line impact, revenue generation, and improved risk management. All right, moving along here. This chart is a little bit difficult to read, but essentially what it is essentially it is. I should stop saying essentially what it is or like what it is because even writing that is a very awkward sentence. I'll have to remove that from my lexicon. It focuses on business functions within different types of businesses. So for example, marketing and sales within technology businesses, tech companies, or media or consumer goods and retail, who has begun using generative AI tools in any one of these skill sets. So in marketing, I mean, the benefits for AI tools, especially generative AI in marketing, is pretty obvious across every single one of these. It's the largest portion of teams that are using generative AI, going down to IT. They might be using generative AI to make code bases for them or write scripts for them, all the way down to manufacturing with the lowest. Manufacturing, because I mean, those are people in factories. I don't know how generative AI is going to help them really too much with theirs. Like how is generating an image or a blog post going to help them make more products? I don't know how that would work. But that's not a generative AI issue unless the AI is generating new products for them. And then I'm going to show this one last. This chart will be the last one. So this is showing us the growth rate, essentially, of respondents who are using or have reported using AI tools, starting from the early or mid 2023, sometime in 2023, to early 2024 and mid to late 2024. I think it's interesting because some of them didn't move at all, and some even went down. The largest cohort were the people who had tried at least once, or had regularly used it for work and or outside of work. Among the C-level executives, it almost didn't change at all. It was just a 1 point uptick from early 2024 to late 2024, and actually went down from 2023. That is the people who had tried at least once. So fewer people were trying it at least once, which could mean either that there were few people trying it, or it could mean that it probably just means that they haven't tried it even once. So that's a pretty shocking number to be going down. Then regularly used for work. So the number of people who are using it regularly for work has gone up, but surprisingly, the number of C-level executives who have used it at least once has gone down. Pretty surprising. And same with senior managers and with mid-level managers. All of them went down, unless I'm reading this wrong and it's actually no exposure, but I think the color goes better with have tried at least once. So then the boomers, so the old people, I mean, they're almost not, I don't want to say that they don't really count, but the people who are going to be making a really big impact at major companies these days are going to be the people born from the Gen Xers and the millennials. Those are going to be the people who you would expect to be adopting use of AI tools, and those are the people who are displaying a greater use of it in a number of different ways, as you would expect. It looks like the boomers have a fairly linear uptick in the level of usage compared to the level of total ignorance of it. The people who responded, I don't know. Whereas the levels on those born from 1965 on they fluctuated quite a bit more, which I found interesting. Okay, so I will link this in the written article because YouTube is not likely to let me put a link to something like this in the description. So keep your eyes peeled for that article so you can read this report yourself. And then, yeah, make sure you stay tuned and subscribe. Thanks a lot.